And the fact that Schiff hasn't blinked since 1992. And he didn't take the news so well. The disgraced Democrat went on TikTok to complain. Behold.
Hello, I'm Congressman Adam Schiff with some troubling news. Today, Kevin McCarthy removed me from the House Intelligence Committee, all for doing my job, for holding Trump accountable and standing up to the extreme MAGA Republicans.
Schiff, given the ongoing political tensions and Trump's actions toward his critics, do you think President Biden's preemptive pardons turned out to be more important than initially expected? Let's first tell people what that means, preemptive pardons. That was pretty unprecedented, right? Before he left office, Joe Biden pardoned you and a number of people who he thought Trump would go after.
No, I take the opposite view. I don't think he should have given the pardons at all.
Really?
No, I don't think he should have, and I was vocal about that at the time.
Can you refuse a pardon?
That's less clear because in the case of the January 6th committee, he pardoned essentially the whole.
It was one of those TV moments that makes you freeze mid-sip of coffee. Two well-known commentators sat across from Adam Schiff, and instead of the usual polite Q&A, they went straight for the kill. For years, Schiff built his reputation as the man who would expose Donald Trump's supposed ties to Russia. He spoke on TV with the confidence of someone holding a winning lottery ticket. But when the dust settled, there was nothing. No proof, no smoking gun, just empty claims after years of headlines. And this time, the pushback didn't come from Republicans. It happened live on air in front of an audience. Schiff went from answering questions to being taken apart piece by piece. They accused him of feeding a story to the American public, not because it was true, but because it kept him in the spotlight. It wasn't an interview anymore. It was a public unmasking.
We talk about him too much. We want to tell people what we're going to do for them. Healthcare, environment, those kind of issues. For example, I've seen you on TV a lot in the last couple of years. I know everything you know, or that you tell us, about the Russian situation. I don't have a clue what you think about healthcare. I've never heard it. Yeah. I don't know whether you're for Medicare for all, or improve Obamacare, or get a chicken.
Schiff's carefully built image began to collapse. The conversation quickly shifted to his biggest failure, not just a lack of evidence against Trump, but how he spent his time during real national crises. Instead of focusing on healthcare, climate policy, or solutions for everyday Americans, Schiff stayed obsessed with keeping the Trump drama alive. They reminded the audience of the early days of COVID-19, when the virus was silently spreading. While doctors and scientists raised alarms, Schiff was consumed with impeachment hearings. They painted a clear picture. While the country needed leadership in a looming health crisis, Schiff was busy producing another act of political theater. One commentator cut sharply, saying they knew Schiff's views on Russia by heart, but had no idea what he thought about healthcare or any real domestic issue.
Because he created 3 years of a massive fallacy that did so much damage to this country and made us miss probably one of the most important stories of our lifetime. We were having hearings on impeachment while the coronavirus...
That was the bigger problem. Schiff wasn't seen as a problem solver, but as a showman addicted to one storyline. The turning point came when one commentator leaned in and asked bluntly, "What have you actually done for America?" The question wasn't delivered politely. It was surgical, meant to wound. Schiff's polished composure couldn't hide the impact. The silence of the room told the story. This wasn't a debate point. It was an indictment of his entire career. Greg Gutfeld then stepped in, tearing into Schiff's record. He argued that Schiff's obsession with impeachment didn't just waste time. It crippled America's early response to COVID-19. Instead of preparing the nation, Schiff was performing for cameras.
While the coronavirus was exploding, we talked about that virus in green rooms, but we had to do this impeachment story. We had to show these hearings. It's all on him, man. He's got to go. They got to investigate him. They got to hold him accountable. I'm not going to say he should go to prison, but my evil twin will say he should go away to prison.
The attacks didn't stop. Schiff was framed as someone who could have led, but chose the spotlight. His selective outrage was highlighted with one example. When a judge helped an illegal immigrant avoid ICE, Schiff said nothing. No outrage. No press conference. Silence. Yet, if the story had involved Russia, he had been on every network within hours, binder in hand, delivering sound bites. His critics argued this proved Schiff wasn't chasing truth. He was chasing headlines that fit his narrative.
Irony is superb. He went crying to mommy on an app run by Chinese commies. Congressman Adam Schiff announced this morning he's running for U.S. Senate in California, which is guaranteed to boost U-Haul rentals headed for Texas. He unveiled the highly polished and produced political ad right on the heels of getting booted from the House Intel Committee. Coincidence? I think not.
By then, his image as a justice crusader was shattered. To critics, Schiff was no principled leader. He was a political operator fighting only battles that boosted his brand. The focus then shifted to his Senate run in California. The timing was telling. Just days after being removed from the House Intelligence Committee, he launched a slick campaign ad. Critics mocked it as the Adam Schiff Show, Senate edition, warning voters it would be the same political theater he staged in the House. They argued California deserved better than a man defined by collapsed theories and broken credibility. Schiff wasn't reinventing himself. He was recycling the same act, and this time, critics were determined to expose it before voters took the bait.
Last year, and it was called Separating Sports by Doesn't Make Sense.
Right.
And talked about how we separate sports like the WNBA and just because it's just socialization. This is insane.
I agree.
Okay. That's why people vote for Trump. Mm-hmm. Because there's stuff like that on the left that people just go, I know Trump's horrible, but separating by sports makes perfect sense.
Finally, they turned to Schiff's alignment with the woke wing of his party. When asked a straightforward question, should trans women compete in women's sports, he dodged. Instead of giving a clear answer, he offered carefully packaged phrases that revealed nothing. To critics, it was classic Schiff, avoiding risk, saying just enough to please everyone while committing to nothing. But California voters, they argued, are tired of this routine. They want leaders who speak plainly, even if it's unpopular. Schiff's polished evasiveness, once a political strength, now made him look weak and out of touch. Greg Gutfeld seized the moment, delivering a cutting blow to Schiff's Senate ambitions, painting him as a career showman, not a leader ready for the challenges ahead.
Their dentures when Schiff finally gets censored. And so the House condemns the lies of the man with the zombie eyes. Last night, the House voted on party lines to censure Adam Schiff for promoting the Trump-Russia collusion hoax, which was as believable as Brian Kilmeade getting fan mail. 2 for 2. Schiff becomes only the 26th member ever to be censured, but to his credit, he's still the only member to have a
He didn't waste time with cheap insults. It was a methodical takedown. Schiff's Senate campaign, they argued, wasn't about bold new ideas, but a glossy rear-end of the same tired script he had pushed for years. No real plan for inflation, immigration, or national security. Just polished speeches and empty promises. Gutfeld hit hardest, calling Schiff a politician built on performance, not delivery. The audience seemed to agree. This was a fresh start. It was season 2 of the Adam Schiff Show. The real sting came when they asked the dreaded question, what has he actually accomplished in office? Where are the landmark bills? The policies that changed lives? Silence. Schiff's record wasn't filled with solutions, but with press conferences, sound bites, and endless grandstanding. Instead of governing, he spent years chasing headlines. The criticism deepened with talk of Biden's pardons. Schiff claimed he opposed them, but critics saw it as political doublespeak. Rumors even suggested some pardons weren't properly signed, raising questions about accountability. The message was clear. If Schiff had abused power, no backroom deal should protect him. Then came another example of his selective outrage. When a judge helped an illegal immigrant evade ICE, Schiff gave vague, dismissive answers. But the story had touched Russia. He had been on TV within hours, binder in hand, warning of doom. To his critics, this showed his pattern. Outrage when it fit his brand, silence when it didn't. They also argued Schiff turned the House Intelligence Committee into his personal stage. Instead of safeguarding national security, he delivered high-drama bombshells that never materialized. After years of hype, no smoking gun ever appeared. Just wasted time, taxpayer money, and eroded public trust. If he could waste years in the House, why wouldn't he do the same in the Senate? Finally, they reminded viewers of Schiff's rare humiliation. Being formally censured by Congress one of only 26 members in U.S. history. To them, it wasn't partisan payback, but a warning sign about his judgment. Schiff, they concluded, wasn't a leader with solutions, but a politician addicted to cameras. The choice for voters was clear: demand real results or settle for a rerun of the Adam Schiff show.